Okay guys, hello, welcome back to my channel. In this video we are going to learn how to do vertical subtraction of whole numbers. So we are going to start with a representation so we understand better what we are doing with that vertical subtraction, and then we are going to do the vertical subtraction and some examples. So let's start with this example here. So, in order to do the representation of each number, 234 minus 112, I'm going to use these blocks for the hundreds. So, the 234, the digit 2 is in the position of the hundreds. That's why we have two of these ones. Because these squares have 100 of little squares. So 230, so 3 tens, 3 strips of 10, and 34. So 4 ones, 4 little squares. Minus 100, I put it in white, so we are going to take away the ones that are in green, and at the end, the ones left, they are going to be the ones that they are still green. Okay, so 112, one strip of 10, and two little ones. So we need to take away 100. So from these two, we are going to cover one of them here. We took it away. It doesn't exist anymore. Remember, the ones left in green, they are going to represent the result. From the tens, we take away one of them. Okay, so we cover it here. And from the ones, we cover two of them. Okay, so notice that at the end, we are left with 100, two strips of 10, so 20, and two ones, 22, 122. In the vertical subtraction, that's what we do. We also make operations between the same size. So we do the ones, the tens, and the hundreds to make sure that they have the same size. So let's put 234. Remember, in addition, it doesn't matter the order that you put the numbers, but in subtraction, yeah, it is imperative that you always put the smallest one down here, okay? Because we cannot subtract a big number from a smaller number. So always the biggest one have to go at the top. And then we do the subtraction. 4 minus 2 is 2, 3 minus 1 is 2, and 2 minus 1 is 1. That's how you get the result using the vertical subtraction. Let's take this other example. So you are going to see two special things in this example. So the first thing is that the 17 doesn't have a hundreds. And the other thing is, for example, if you check of the ones, there's not going to be enough ones from 4 to take away 7. So we're going to check what happens, what should we do. So we have 234, and we have the 110 and 17. This is the 17. In order to do the subtraction, we are going to take away one of the tens. Remember, just the green ones are going to be in the result. And then we have 7 here. But notice that we have just 4 ones here. So we need to cover from tens. We need to go to the tens and cover them. And then these 3 left are going to be part of the ones that they are going to be in the result. So the answer in this case is 200, just 110, right? And 3, 2, 4, 6, 7 left, 7 ones left, 270. Let's see how does it look in the vertical subtraction, hundreds. In this case, we write again, always the biggest number at the top, 234 minus 70. So the trick is here, guys. We cannot take away 7 from 4. 4 is smaller. So what we do is to say to the next one, to the tens, like, hey, borrow me one, please. So we need to borrow from the neighbor. So these 3 since it's going to line 1, it's not a 3 anymore. It becomes a 2. And then it gives 1 to the 4 to make it 14. Now 14 is a bigger number. So we can take away 7 from 14. 14 minus 7 is 7. And then the next number, which became a 2, it's able to subtract the 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. And 2 minus nothing is 2. And that's how we get the 217 in the vertical form. Now, guys, this is the time for you to practice. You can pause the video, try to do this subtraction, and then I'm going to solve them so you can check if it's correct or not. Okay, let's start with the first one. So 893. To make sure that ones are with ones, remember to line up to the right. Always line up to the right with whole numbers. And then we do subtraction. 3 minus 2 is 1, 9 minus 7 is 2, and 8 minus nothing is 8. So result 821. Good. Let's check the next one. 1739 minus 942. Minus 9 minus 2 is 7. 3 minus 4, careful, is not 1. It's impossible. So we need to borrow from the neighbor. So this 7 becomes a 6 to give me 1 to become a 13. 13 minus 4 is 9. 6 minus 9 again is not enough. So we borrow again. This becomes a 0. Doesn't have anymore. And 16 minus 9 is 7. 0 minus 0 is 0. You can write it or you can just leave it because 0 on the left is the same. So this is 797. Okay, and the last one, 400 minus 273. This one is special because it needs to borrow twice. Let's check because it's very common that you guys struggle with this kind of exercise. So let's check. So 0 minus 3 is not possible. We cannot take away 3 from 0. So we need to borrow from the next one. But the next one, it doesn't have anything because it's also a 0. So what we need to do is to borrow from the next one. So this 4 would become a 3. So this 0 would become a 10. Now it has something, so the next one could borrow from it. So 10 becomes a 9 to give it 1 to the 0 that we need. So now finally this is a 10. 10 minus 3 is 7. 9 minus 7 is 2. And 3 minus 2 is 1. 127. 127. Okay, guys, remember to let me your questions on the question box. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. And if you want to book your lessons with me, I'll let you the link in the description. Bye bye. Have a nice day.